The New Jersey Devils have not struggled to stay busy here before the NHL draft tonight. They made two major moves today and yesterday, which will absolutely help this team going forward in the next season and for many years afterwards. As we know, the big one of this is Tyler Toffoli. He got a trade to the New Jersey Devils, as well as a Timo Meier extension. We're going to go over both of those in this video, as well as some other moves some news that came out regarding some players on this team who are going to be testing free agency and may walk away from this team during the offseason. But we're going to go straight into the first topic here, which is the major one. The Devils acquire Tyler Toffoli in an absolutely shocking move, which I think many people knew Tyler Toffoli would get traded at this point as it came out. He didn't want to come back to the Calgary Flames. He got traded to the New Jersey Devils for Yegor Sharangovich and a third-round pick. And just without going into too much detail right off the bat here, I absolutely love this trade. We know how good Tyler Toffoli was last season, leading the Calgary Flames in points and also goals, which on a star-studded Calgary Flames team, they had a bit of struggle with, but like the players that were on that team, he probably on paper should not have been the points leader nor the goal leader, but he played fantastic on a team that played absolutely terrible this season. Gotta say, love the move for New Jersey. It will definitely help them out on their forward side going into next season, if they even needed help to begin with, but it just gets more star power on that the first two lines, But Noah, as the resident Montreal fan, Tyler Toffoli played with Montreal for a good while. What do you think about Tyler Toffoli in New Jersey, and how do you think he'll fit into this team?
Well, Tyler Toffoli as a player, I mean, like you said, I'm a diehard Habs fan. I absolutely loved him on the Habs, but that's past days. I think they did a very good job. They helped bolster their top six. They get a guy like you said who led Calgary in goals and points. I think it was, or not goals, but points. I'll say. But and to get him I think he's only making $4.5 million for a guy who put up 70+ points last year. That's an absolute steal. And to give up a third-round pick and a guy like Sharangovich, who was probably going to leave anyway, it makes a lot of sense for the Devils.
Yeah, Sharangovich was definitely a big part of this forward core for the New Jersey Devils. But as much as Devils fans may like him, that's what I've seen all over Twitter, all over everything, saying you love Sharangovich, you want him to stay, but the upgrade was needed. Tyler Toffoli obviously is a bigger upgrade. And Sharangovich will also now get a new opportunity to play in Calgary. He signed that extension, I believe, was $2.5 million for 3 years or something around that. I think that's a good deal for him. Calgary's trying to fix the team, turn themselves around. I think that's a good idea for him. Hope him well. He's a good player. I really do like him. I know I'd always choose him in NHL franchises, but that's not on this topic. But I do like the trade a lot. I got to say, I think Tyler Toffoli will definitely be a big help with the addition of potentially Tomas Tatar leaving, which we'll talk about a bit later in one of those. In the topic of the people who are going to be testing free agency. He's one of them. But we're going to go into our second major topic here now, which is the Timo Meier extension, which I'm sure a lot of you guys knew as well. It's a very, very big move. Timo Meier signed an 8-year by $8.8 million AAV, which I think is an absolutely incredible contract for this guy. He was almost nearly point per game leaving the Sharks last season. He had 52 points in 57 games, and he was nearly point per game as well with the Devils, playing at 14 and 21. But you're going to compare this contract to Pierre-Luc Dubois. A lot of people will say, his point total is only 73. His career high in point total is only 73. Yes, but Timo Meier has proven a lot more, I think, than Pierre-Luc Dubois has over his years. He's been on an awful team. I guess you could say that as well with Pierre-Luc Dubois and with Columbus. But Winnipeg over the past few years have been a very good team. San Jose is not. San Jose has been a very bad team, and he's been very good on that team. Just proven by his points this year, and as well moving to New Jersey. He started off a bit slow, but picked up the pace, and after getting absolutely crunched in the playoffs by Jacob Sherwood, that's a ridiculous hit, came back, and still played just like he never left. I gotta say, I think it's a very good contract, but Noah, what do you think about the contract as a whole and how it'll affect New Jersey?
Well, I think he's one of the faces of their franchise, if I'm being completely honest. He's only played half a season there, but I think he's obviously there to stay now. He just signed an extension. But, I think the key to this is they have pretty much their 4 or 5 guys now all under $9 million. Guys like Jack Hughes, Timo Meier, Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt. That's their guys, and they have them all under $9 million. So I think it's absolutely huge.
Yeah, I like what you said about him being the face of the franchise, because obviously they got him on an expiring contract, knowing he's going to be an RFA, and they know they're going to want to sign him long term after his contract expired, in which they did, to be one of those guys that they face the franchise. And I like what they're doing, preparing for the future. As we know, Gary Bettman said the cap is only going to go up even throughout the offseason, through all like the blunders I'll say we had over the past few years. Many of you know TV ratings probably got a bit higher and some other stuff didn't, but in that way the salary cap will only be going up. So if they sign these guys to a long-term contracts at around $9 million, like you said, that's going to be very good in a couple of years when the cap is going to be a lot higher. And those guys' contract now that are around $8-9 million will be probably equal to right now what a $5 or $6 million contract is. So I do like what New Jersey has going. It's going to be very exciting to see what they will do in the future. If they don't get to a cup by then, we'll have to see what happens with that, though. Because I think right now they're one of the top teams, in my books at least, to make it to a cup final and go and win one with the additions they've made here. But they have some with some wins, they also come some losses. We have another one here with the final topic of the day, which is Ryan Graves is testing free agency, which I think if he does leave in free agency will be a very, very big loss. This tweet came out here earlier from Amanda Stein. Ryan Graves, Tomas Tatar, and Miles Wood will all be testing free agency on July 1st, per Tom Fitzgerald. Now, obviously, Ryan Graves, I will say, is the face of this tweet. He's the big guy that will be lost in free agency if he does leave. But on that note as well, New Jersey is not shy on prospects. You know, they have guys like Luke Hughes, Simone Nemec. Those guys need to take that next step up to the NHL because I think they're very much ready at this point. I don't think they need to spend any more time in the minors or overseas. I think they're ready to test the NHL. You know, Luke Hughes had the little bit of experience in the playoffs last year. I think that's a good start to get him to get him into the lineup, get him ready for NHL competitiveness. I think it's a good idea. But the free agency side of things, you know, you might want to test some defensemen. Maybe if you can get like a second pairing defenseman for a bit cheap, you know, and you like want to mix them in with the guys you're going to have coming up and the guys already there.
I like that. Yeah,
that's one idea. And as well, a goalie. They might want to test a goalie as well. You know, you have Tyler Brennan, Nico Dawes, both in the AHL. And, you know, you got some guys that you might want to just let them try it out. But where they are right now, they're not in a win-now situation at all. So they have the liberty to try what they want to try. If it don't work, change it up. They still have a lot of time for this. You know, they have nobody on major expiring deals, none of the faces of this team. So they're looking good right now. But Noah, what do you think about the mainly Ryan Graves and as well as the free agent plan that you think they're going to be going with the way that they are?
I'm fine with letting him walk if I'm being completely honest. You know, like you said, you have guys like Simone Nemec and Luke Hughes. Luke Hughes got a little bit of experience there in the playoffs this year. Obviously, the Devils didn't go very far. Well, they beat the Rangers, but didn't go very, very far. Yeah. But I think, you know, that's only a benefit for Luke Hughes. And we've seen what Simone Nemec did in the AHL and for Slovakia, right? I think he's from Slovakia.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Slovakia.
Yeah.
One of those.
Whatever team in the World Juniors, I thought he was a stud on the blue line. So, I mean, you know, they could easily fill the void that Ryan Graves leaves. But, you know, you talked about the goalie thing. Maybe they're in the market for Connor Hellebuyck. You know, I think that could be very interesting to see. You know, like we said, they have some prospects. You know, guys like Alexander Holt who haven't really cracked that lineup. You know, maybe. I don't know. I really like Connor Hellebuyck on the Devils for sure.
Yeah, there's also, you know, a possibility of Linus Ullmark if the Boston Bruins do decide to try and get rid of him. That would be an interesting one. I think they do need a goalie like that, though. The name I was trying to remember earlier was Akira Schmid, who had some ups in the playoffs, some very, very good games, but also had some very, very bad games. So, I mean, you want to maybe test him out a few games, but it's still too much of a risk, I would say, to just, you know, to put all the team on his shoulders and just let it be. I think a guy like you said, Connor Hellebuyck, Linus Ullmark, maybe someone like that. We've seen Jusse Saros in the news lately, potentially trying to get moved. I think one of those guys is someone that the New Jersey Devils should go after. You know, like I said, they have an abundance of prospects that they have a lot playing, a lot in the AHL. So maybe you move a few of those, maybe you don't. We'll have to see what happens. You know, the draft is tonight. Going to be very, very exciting to see if they try to move up or down. You know, I think their first round pick this season is with San Jose from the Timo Meier trade. But you know, they might try to make some moves, not picks, but players in this draft. They might try to make a few trades, maybe get a pick next year. We'll have to see. But that's all we have for this video. If you like it, do make sure to subscribe. The support's been amazing lately. We do very much appreciate it. Also, make sure to like the video if you do like it. That's all we have for this video. Hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.